Scorpio Sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
SCU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you never heard of. My name's Tom. I am your host. Today is actually Saturday, April 29th, 2023. Podcast going a little bit late this week, but I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure you head to Linktree/CatchHookShoot, or you can scan this little QR code right here in the corner, and you will find links to our website, social medias, the YouTube channel, all the podcasting platforms and all that kind of fun stuff. And if you ever want to shoot us an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So like I said, podcast is coming out a little bit late this week. By the time this drops, SmackDown will already have happened and the WWE draft will already have started. I'll be covering the complete draft next week, so I'm not going to get into that today. But I'll have all the draft results and, my take on all of that on next week's show. So for right now, let's jump into everything that went on last week in a wonderful, wacky world of professional wrestling, and we're starting it off with our lead story. So Triple H this week has introduced a new WWE World Championship, and this basically is so that, because Roman Reigns has both the WWE and Universal Championships, and with the draft coming up, Roman's going to get drafted either to Raw or to SmackDown, be exclusive to that show, so the other show is going to need a top champion, and that's what this new title is going to be for. So whatever show Roman Reigns gets drafted to, the other show will have this new World Championship as their top title, and the champion is going to be crowned at the Night of Champions event coming up later in May. The belt was unveiled on Raw. I don't know how I feel about the belt, honestly. It's definitely, an homage to the big gold belt as far as its design. Of course, it's got the giant WWE logo right in the center. I don't know. I mean, it's a nice looking belt. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me, but it's definitely different from the other two top titles that Roman currently holds, and it raises a lot of questions. So is Roman still going to be carrying around two belts? Are they going to give him a new belt to just represent the undisputed Universal Championship? How is that going to work? So I don't know. I'll definitely dive a little bit more into this a little bit later on in the show, but brand new WWE World Championship, and the new champion will be crowned at the Night of Champions event in Saudi Arabia at the end of May. So let's keep rolling right along and get into our next segment here, which is my pick for Match of the Week. Alright, so the match of the week this week is from AEW Dynamite, and I'm talking about Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara. This was the next match in the Pillars tournament to determine who's going to face MJF for the World Championship at Double or Nothing. And, I mean, as you'd expect, Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara, fantastic match between these two. I think I said the same thing last week for Sammy and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I don't think it's possible for these two to put on a bad match. Now Sammy Guevara did win by disqualification when MJF came down to the ring, threw Darby's skateboard in, and Sammy Guevara basically did a Guerrero by dropping to the mat, acting like he had been hit. The referee turned around and rang the bell. The referee was being distracted by Sammy Guevara's wife, Ty Mello, at the time. So, Sammy Guevara wins by disqualification, and becomes number one contender for MJF's World Championship at Double or Nothing. Now, of course, MJF has paid off Sammy Guevara basically to lay down for him. Now, I think everybody is probably thinking the same thing, that Sammy is swerving MJF. He's not going to lay down, not in the main event of Double or Nothing. And, yeah, I mean, I don't see that happening. That would be, I think the fans would revolt if that happened in the main event of a major pay-per-view like that. But as a consequence of the collusion between Sammy Guevara and MJF, Tony Schiavone had an announcement after this match was over, and I think everybody knows Schiavone and MJF do not get along, at least on screen. But yeah, Schiavone gets on the mic, calls MJF a little prick, and says he has an announcement from Tony Khan, basically saying that next week there will be a tag team match with Jungle Boy and Darby Allin taking on MJF and Sammy Guevara. And if Jungle Boy and Darby win, the Double or Nothing title match becomes a four-way, which, I mean, honestly, I don't think all of this stuff was necessary. I think they should have just made it a four-way from the get-go and just kept with the four-way promos that we've been seeing on an almost weekly basis with these guys. I think that would have been just a good build to the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. So not really liking the route that they're taking to get to the four-way, but the point is that it's going to be a four-way match between the so-called four pillars of AEW, which, in case you weren't listening, is MJF, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And so yeah, more than likely that is what we're going to see at Double or Nothing in the main event for the world title. So let's keep rolling right along with my top three highlights of the week, and there's some interesting ones this time, and that's coming up in the 3 count. So first up on the 3 count, CM Punk was backstage at Raw this past week. Very interesting. Apparently, he was on a flight back from Florida with some WWE wrestlers, and they, invited him to the building. I mean, Raw was in Chicago this past week at the Allstate Arena. Obviously, Punk lives in Chicago, so he went to Raw, went backstage, and was kind of hanging out for a little bit. Apparently, talked to the Miz, cleared the air on whatever issue there was between the two of them. Apparently talked to Triple H for a second or two, and obviously this is all coming from dirt sheets, but talked to Triple H for a second or two, just to ask, hey, is it okay that I'm here? Triple H apparently said, I gotta ask the big guy, Vince, of course. But yeah, and so Punk was just kind of hanging out, but then I guess word came down he was asked to leave the building, was not allowed to stay, and I'm can only assume that came from Vince McMahon, which is, I mean, it's kind of petty, really is. But yeah, just a interesting situation. A lot of people are saying this is, just a publicity stunt because Punk's going to be going back to AEW. There's been a lot of chatter about that the last several weeks about Punk going back to AEW, especially with their huge stadium show coming up in London. A lot of people talking about Punk potentially going back to AEW. So, they're saying this is just to kind of get publicity for that. But either way, CM Punk was backstage at Raw. That's the the main story here. Next up, the Owen Hart Cup is returning to AEW and is going to be held in Canada this year, which is pretty cool. It's going to be starting at Double or Nothing. There will be a tournament match at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, and then the finals will be on July 15th in Calgary, the hometown of the Hart family. So, yeah, that's definitely cool that the one, that they're doing the tournament again, and two, that it's going to be in Canada this time. And third on the 3 count, Adam Cole called out Chris Jericho on Dynamite, and of course Jericho didn't come out, but the Jericho Appreciation Society did. Put a beat down on Adam Cole, and we saw the return of Roderick Strong, and apparently he has signed an AEW contract. He got the little graphic on social media. Roderick Strong is All Elite. So, so yeah, Roderick Strong back in AEW, and I mean, really, it makes sense. I mean, Marina Shafir, Roderick Strong's wife, still, has been moving up the AEW women's ranks. So I think it was only a matter of time before Strong actually signed a contract there with his wife. So let's get into some other news and rumors and stuff from the week. Gunther retained the Intercontinental title this week against Xavier Woods. Woods making a very good showing, though. I mean, he's the only New Day member left in WWE right now. Kofi and Big E, of course, both out with injuries. So, Xavier Woods getting into the Intercontinental title picture and had a pretty good match against Gunther, I got to say. Solo Sikoa defeated Matt Riddle in a street fight. Finn Balor tried to recruit Cody Rhodes into the Judgment Day. Cody, of course, turned him down, and they ended up having a match later on in the show, which Cody did win. But, I mean, it's Cody Rhodes and Finn Balor. It was an amazing freaking match. This was almost match of the week, but Darby and Sammy beat them out by just a little bit. And, the Darby and Sammy match, it was all the other stuff around the match also that got it to the match of the week spot. Rey Mysterio defeated Damian Priest by a DQ. Bad Bunny made his return at the end of this match. Came out and made the save for Rey Mysterio, saved him from getting beat down, and made the announcement that he is no longer hosting Backlash, that he will be taking on Damian Priest in a street fight. And Backlash, of course, coming up next weekend. And in addition to the results of the draft, I'll be breaking down the Backlash card and everything going on with that next week as well. Christian and Luchasaurus came out to interrupt Wardlow and Arn Anderson again, so they're obviously building towards a TNT Championship match I would assume between Wardlow and Luchasaurus. Christian and Luchasaurus really have not said anything. They've just kind of, come out during Wardlow and Arn Anderson's promos. So, but looks like Arn Anderson now officially the manager of Wardlow, which I like that. So I'm wondering, I think a lot of people, and myself included, anytime Arn Anderson is involved with something, we go to, are we going to see a reformation of the Four Horsemen? Because Arn owns the Four Horsemen trademark. He owns the name. He owns, anything having to do with the Four Horsemen. So, and I mean, right now, with the additional Wardlow to Arn's stable, he's got Wardlow, he's got his son Brock, and he's got Brian Pillman Jr. So, I mean, that's not a bad start if you're gonna create a new Four Horsemen stable. So, but that's getting way ahead of the story. So we'll have to see how that turns out. But yeah, Christian and Luchasaurus, have been kind of, I wouldn't say getting in the face of Wardlow and Arn. They've just kind of been, showing their faces anytime Wardlow and Arn are in the ring or in the arena. So I think Wardlow and Luchasaurus could put on a hell of a match. That would definitely be a hard-hitting affair. Before the match with Sammy and Darby Allin, we saw a promo backstage with Sammy and MJF, and the stuff with these guys is just kind of over the top, which to me makes it entertaining and funny. But Sammy presented MJF with a vest that matches his own, and then MJF presented Sammy with a Burberry scarf, and it just, they're besties apparently. So just a funny promo spot. Jade Cargill defeated Taya Valkyrie to retain the TBS title. Now in this match, Taya was prohibited from using the Road to Valhalla, her finishing move, and she started to go for it a few times. Ref Aubrey Edwards had to stop her, and after the match, Taya was so frustrated she almost put the move on Aubrey, but all the other refs came out and kind of prevented her from doing that. So definitely not over between Jade Cargill and Taya Valkyrie. The Blackpool Combat Club came out and attacked Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita after their match. Of course, the Young Bucks came out and made the save, and the Bucks were holding Moxley, and Omega had the screwdriver. I don't know why the screwdriver is the weapon of choice for this rivalry, but that's apparently what it is. And Omega about to go after Mox with the screwdriver, and Takeshita stopped him. I mean, the Blackpool Combat Club was, making it look like they were trying to recruit Takeshita, so Takeshita stepped in between, stopped him, and then the BCC went on the attack again, and basically Takeshita shot him down, refused their refused their offer to join them, and then they went on to put a beat down on Takeshita, and Moxley attacked Takeshita with the screwdriver. So, and that's pretty much how the show went off the air. Yeah, a couple other interesting notes. Trinity Fatu, formerly known as Naomi in WWE, made her Impact debut, and she's going to be back on Impact this coming week, and as they say in their announcements, with a live mic. So apparently she's got a lot to say. I'm sure she probably does. So it should be interesting to see that one. So that's going to wrap us up for news and rumors and results for the week. So right now I'm going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he's here with your Indie Cut.
I don't know if you like podcasts or if you don't like podcasts, but damn it, the Indie Cut with Charlie G. If you don't like podcasts, you're about to like podcasts. Go watch the Indie Cut with Charlie G, damn it. It's the finest podcast amongst all podcasts.
Thank you, Tom, and Hall of Fame Briscoe Brothers, and hey, the wrestling friends. I'm Charlie D with this week's Indie Cut. Let's begin with Thursday, April 20th, and Beyond Wrestling Open 68 from Worcester, Mass. For the IWTV Independent Wrestling Tag Team titles in a three-way match, it was champions Dustin Waller and Kylon King defeating Ryan Clancy and TJ Crawford, as well as BRG and Steven Stetson. And then for their newly minted Wrestling Open title, Ichiban defeated Brad Hollister to become their first champion. On to Friday, April 21st, GCW Into the Light from Atlanta, Georgia. An 8-man tag, Jimmy Lloyd, Mr. Danger, Teriyaki, and Yoya defeating Bobby Flacco, Kalo Conley, Donnie Primetime, and Hunter Drake. Adam Priest defeated Brogan Finley. Single Hero Erie defeated Cole Radrick. Tony Deppen defeated Brian Keith. Blake Christian defeated Mike Jackson. Mike Bailey defeated Alex Zane. So nice to see Alex back in action. For their GCW Tag Team titles, champions Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne defeated Anthony Henry and JD Drake. Matt Cardona and Steph DeLander defeated Cyclope and Mito Extremo. Alley Catch, Dark Sheik, and Effie defeated Arez, Gringo Loco, and Jack Cartwheel. Pretty fun match there. And Vikingo defeated Commander. I gotta say, this is one of the lackluster matches these two put on. I don't know if it was where they were at, because they're, what was it, at Center Stage? Yeah, Center Stage in Atlanta, Georgia. So not a lot of room, I guess, for these two to really fly, and they might have been told to hold back this a little bit because everyone's getting injured lately. So still a nice match between these two, but the Kingo Commander, guess you saw better on TV than on GCW. To Chicago Style Wrestling, The Second Coming from Franklin Park, Illinois. It's still on IWTV if you can catch it. Jack Moody and Mato Valentine defeated for the tag team titles, my fault, in a 2-out-of-3 falls match. So Jack Moody and Mateo Valentine defeated champions Jay Marston and Shane Boucher to become new champions. In a Falls Count Anywhere match, Greg Murray defeated Chris Miller. In a 5-way scramble, J.J. Garrett defeated Doom Montgomery, Joey Avalon, Joey Mayberry, and Shane Hollister. Conan Lycan defeated Adam Stallion. 6-man tag, Marco Marche Roquette and Steve Boz defeated Jax Johnson, Ryan Matthews, and Victor Inestra. For the women's title, champion Sierra defeated Solange Royale and Shelly Benson. Rhino made an appearance, defeating Solomon Tupu. Hades, XIX. Oh man, 14? No. Yeah, Hades and Heather Reckless defeated Cypher and Sky Blue. And for their heavyweight title, champion Axel Rico defeated Vic Capri. Yeah. Saturday, April 22nd, UPW Pro Wrestling, so Pro Wrestling Wisconsin, Marquette Mania from Marquette, Michigan. So yeah, forget what I said about UPW. Gio Bronco defeated Rick Carday, and then Scott Steiner with Rick Steiner defeated Rick Carday. Can be fun. Big Con defeated the Dev by countout. For the Mike Shaw Memorial Battle Royal, Gary Wolf won that. For the UPW Tag Team titles, champions Kaz Carter and Rough Rider Rashawn defeated Eugene and Melvin Hayes. In a Monsters Ball match, Peter B. Beautiful defeated Madman Fulton. In a 3-on-2 handicap match, Alan Angels and Big Con defeated Jay Sin, The Dev, and Tommy Trainwreck. Tatanka defeated Corey Kerr. And for the heavyweight title, champion Silas Young defeated Samson. So you have Scott Steiner, Eugene, and Tatanka all wrestling still. Very nice. Very interesting, you might say. Down to San Antonio, Texas, for Mission Pro Wrestling, Edge of Glory, still on Title Match Network. For the Mission Pro Cup match, KC Black Rose defeated Max Heights. For the RCW Phoenix title, Alexandra Leon defeated champion Vanity to become the champion. Emmy Camacho defeated Maya Friday. Tiffany Nieves defeated Shay Carmichael. For the tag team titles, number one contendership match, Joey Hyder and JP Harlow defeated Charity Kane and Danny B by countout. Misty Marks defeated Dream Girl Ellie. For their tag team titles, Gigi Ray and Lady Bird Monroe defeated champions Mandy Rankowski and Riche Chanel by DQ, so no title change there. And for their titles, for the MPW title, champion Genocide defeated Hyan. Back to Maine and Limitless Wrestling, Identity Crisis. Channing Thomas defeated Alexander Lee. Alec Price defeated Judas Icarus. Rip Bison defeated Travis Williams. CPA and Troy Nelson defeated Mark Sterling. And Scotty Too Hottie defeated Mac Daniels. So it's a WWE Attitude week, I guess, last week. To LaSalle, Illinois, and Dreamwave Wrestling anniversary. Stephen Wolf defeated Marcus Mathers. Florida Man defeated Dylan McKay, Jordan Cross, and Victor Inestra. Eric Cannon defeated Ricky Morton. Justin Fowler defeated Marche Raquette. And then PCL defeated Justin Fowler. Vic Capri defeated Connor Hopkins. Excuse me. For their tag team titles in a gauntlet match, Dylan McKay and Marcus Mathers defeated Aaron Xavier and Bucky Collins to become the champions. Dylan and Marcus were a surprise opponents, so Aaron and Bucky were not happy with this loss because they thought they were the new tag team champions. But Dylan and Marcus are instead. For the Dreamwave Alternative Title 4-way match, and a really good match, fun match, champion Gringo Loco defeated Alex Shelley, Mike Bailey, and Nick Wayne. Yes, 20 minutes of awesomeness right there. In an unsanctioned tag team match, Mance Warner and the one called Manders defeated Hardenbauer and Mike Bennett. This was a bloody mess, but still interesting to watch. And then for the Dreamwave World title, champion Christian Rose defeated Johnny Dreamwave with the help of Harley Morgenstein, who Johnny Boxing beat earlier last weekend. And then on another note, it's John Morrison, is Johnny Dreamwave. He was in a car accident before his flight. Thankfully he was safe, and he still made the flight and got to the show. I think they said within 2 matches left, so big props to Johnny Morrison, to John Hennigan for making the show, even though it was in a car accident earlier today. So big props to him, even though he lost. Fun match. They even did a dripstick, showdown. So kind of fun to watch. Nice anniversary show there. Maybe we'll make a Dreamwave show. That'd be kind of cool. They have some nice talent there. Then to Game Changer Wrestling, scene of a crime in Orlando, Florida. And an interesting little arena with side cages and that. Jimmy Lloyd defeated Hunter Drake, Mr. Danger, Ty Hill, Yoya, and Yu Yumamura. Tony Deppen defeated Robert Martyr. Chico Play and Mito Extremo defeated Eli Knight and Malik Pasod. Arez defeated Rick Swan. Sumi Sakai defeated Pero. That was interesting. Blake Christian defeated Alex Zane. Awesome match between these two. Alley Catch, Dark Sheik, and Effie defeated Billy Starks, Brogan Finley, and Colt Radrick. That was actually a pretty fun match too. For the Jersey City Wrestling title, champion Jordan Oliver defeated Single Hero Erie. Good match there too. And for their world title, champion Masa Slamovich defeated Soyaruk by referee's decision. Good match though. Still a good match. Up to Akron, Ohio, and Absolute Intense Wrestling. Damn show. Steph DeLander defeated Ziggy Ham for their tag team titles. Champions Eric Taylor and Mikey Montgomery defeated Swaggle and Wes Barkley. Tell you Swaggle wrestling, yep. Dominic Greening defeated Fred Rosser in a steel cage match. So this probably took long to get set up. Josh Prohibition and Matt Cross defeated Marino T and Philly C. For the AIW Intense title, champion Derek Dillinger defeated Chase Oliver, Shaw Mason, and Tom Lawler. And for their Absolute title, champion Matt Cardona, with the help of Bill Alfonso and Steph DeLander, defeated Joshua Bishop. On to Sunday, April 23rd, and probably the best show of the year, Stardom, All-Star Grand Queendom. This show was great, top to bottom, even. The pre-show match, this pre-show Rumble match. My Sakurai won that. There are a lot of interesting things in that. Still kind of cool if you were really into it. And then they had another pre-show match of Momo Watanabe, Natsuka Tora, Ruaka, and Saki Kashima. Defeated Jessie, Maria May, Xena, and Tekla. Pretty good match, I gotta say. And I did not realize Jessie is Jessie Kamea from NXT. Xena's from Australia. So they got a lot of influx from all over the world going on. And pretty good tag right there. Then to start the show was May Syria and Starlight Kid defeated Azumi and May Saruga. The entrance is pretty cool between these two. Azumi almost tripped and fell trying to do May Saruga's little butterfly entrance, but still a good match. Miyu Yamsaki and Utami Hayashita defeated Fuwa-chan and Hazuki. Maika defeated Himeka in her final Stardom match. For the Goddess of Stardom title, Emi Sarai and Mirai defeated champions Nanai Takahashi and Yu by countout. So yes, it is a title change. Interesting there. Then we had for the Artist of Stardom title, Kari Natsupoi and Sari Anu defeated champions Hiragi Kuruma, Risa Sera, and Suzy Suzuki to become new champions. For the Wonder of Stardom title, Mina Shirakawa defeated champion Saya Kamitani. Awesome match between these two, and big ups to Mina for she has really shown some massive improvement, and she is a really good match there. In a knockout or submission only match, Siri defeated Chihiro Yashimoto by KO. For the IWGP Women's title, Mayu Iwatani defeated Mercedes Moné to become new champion. Yeah, awesome match. And then for the World of Stardom title, Tam Nakano defeated champion Julia to become new champion. And this match ruled, slapped, however you want to call it. This was hard. Probably one of the hardest hitting matches all week, all month. They really just let it go, and really great show. Check it out if you can. You know where to find it. Check out DJ Stream. He already started I started on Tuesday. Probably finish off later tonight. And then on to Tokyo Pro Universe member show. So we had Huri Kazashuri, Shoka Nakajima, and Yuki Aino defeated Raku, Rina Okubo, and Shino Suzuki. Max the Impaler defeated Kaya Toribami. Hikari Noah and Vert Vixen defeated Maki Ito and Toga. So I'm guessing Toga took the pin there. Mizuki Pam Hirajuku and Yuki Kanfuku defeated Hironeko, Mihiro Kiru, and Suzumi. Haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure it was a good show. Over to England and Progress, Chapter 151, Heavy Metal. Leon Slater defeated Danny Black, Leo Rush, and Robbie X. L.A. Taylor defeated Session Moth Martina. Charles Crowley defeated Mike Bird. Millie McKenzie defeated Sky Smithson. Callum Newman and Man Like the Royce went to a double countout. And then quickly went to another match of Dan Maloney and Man Like the Reese defeated Callum Newman and Maverick Mayhem. Or Mayu, sorry about that. And then in their first steel cage match for the Progress World title, champion Spike Trivet defeated Cara Noir. 30 minutes. That'll be really good. And then finally, Tuesday, April 25th, Tokyo Pro in the tape show, Climb Over. Hirono Neko, Kaya Toribami, and Soka Nakajima defeated Mihiro Kiru, Toga, and Wakana Iwahara. Vert Vixen defeated Moko Miyamoto. Yuki Aino, Yuki Arai, and Yuki Kanfuku. So the Yukis defeated Hikari Noah, Maki Ito, and Shino Suzuki. Miyo Watanabe and Reki Tatsumi defeated Urushu Endo and Suzumi. And for the Princess Tag titles, champions Mizuki and Yuku Sakazaki defeated Max the Impaler and Pam Hirajuku. So that had to be kind of fun to watch. Oh, that's that for me. Until next week, and until next time, however you want to put it. I hope you enjoyed the cut. Thank you for watching or listening. Take care, keep safe, be kind to everyone, and enjoy your wrestling. Back to you, Tom.
All right, thank you, Charlie. So, we have kind of an abbreviated episode this week. I don't have top 5 rankings or a fantasy booker this week. It was honestly, aside from like the announcements and stuff, it was kind of what I would call an uneventful week in wrestling. But like I said, next week I'll be covering the draft and going over the giving a preview of the Backlash pay-per-view coming up next weekend. But for right now, I'm going to throw it into the last segment of the show, and that is the weekly hot take. So for the hot take this week, it's actually more of a question. Does WWE really need another world title? You know, I talked about it earlier, Triple H introducing the new WWE World Championship. He kept calling it the World Heavyweight Championship, but if you look at the title, it's got the WWE logo in the middle, and it says World Champion. Doesn't say heavyweight. I think saying World Heavyweight Champion is just kind of habit at this point for a lot of people, Triple H included. So there's still a lot of questions about this. Is this a new championship? Is this taking on the lineage of one of the other titles? You know, how is this going to work? What's going to happen with the other titles? I mean, right now, WWE has 11 world championships. You have the WWE Championship, the Universal Championship, this new World Championship. The NXT title is recognized as a world title. You have the Raw Women's title, the SmackDown Women's title, the NXT Women's title. the Raw Tag Team Championships, the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. These are all recognized world-level titles. You don't need 11 world championships, and you don't solve the problem of one guy holding your 2 top titles by creating another one. If anything, they should. I don't know. Obviously, this is just my opinion. If anything, they should strip one of the titles from Roman, or just do the same thing that they did with the very first draft way back when. You have your world champion is able to float between both shows. You know, I think having more than one world title, you know, really just kind of dilutes the product. It takes away from the significance of that title. Like, oh, well, the champion doesn't defend it enough, so we'll just create a new one. I personally don't like that. You know, and as far as the new belt, like I said, it's kind of an homage to the big gold belt in its design, but it's got it's also got elements of like the NWA domed globe title, or the 10 pounds of gold, with the little, you know, the domed globe in the middle of the championship with the WWE logo. So, I mean, it's a nice looking title. Like I said, I think it's going to grow on me. It's not like, oh my God, that's the worst thing I've ever seen. Not at all. It's a decent looking belt, but I don't know. I don't think WWE needs another world championship. They actually need to get rid of some of these world championships, because they don't mean what they used to, and the more titles they add, they mean even less. So that's my take. I mean, you know, there should be. I mean, you have the Intercontinental title, you have the U.S. title. You know, you figure the top guys on Raw and SmackDown should have those. And that's that. And you have one world champion to defend on either show, or against, you know, wrestlers from either show. But, you know, again, that's my opinion. They want to have a top champion on each show so that, you know, that champion can appear every week on each show. I get that. It's about ratings. It's about getting eyes on the product. It's about, you know, yeah. I don't know. There's too many world championships in WWE at this point. Like I said, if you count the women's and the tag team championships, there are 11 world titles in WWE. And it's too much. Just too much. So it is what it is, though. WWE is going to do what they want, especially now, now that they are under the umbrella of Endeavor. So they can afford to do whatever they want. So that's going to wrap things up for this week. Like I said, next week I'll be back with complete coverage of the WWE Draft, as well as preview of Backlash coming up next weekend. Till then, I want to thank everybody once again for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure to check out Linktree/CatchHookShoot, or scan the little QR code over here and find links to our website, social medias, YouTube, and all that kind of good stuff. And if you ever want to drop us an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So with that, I'm going to wrap things up. Hope everybody has a great weekend, a great week coming up. Enjoy all the great wrestling that's coming up, and we will talk to you guys soon.